Have you ever came into a hockey season super motivated, super excited, saying this is going to be my breakout year, but then 10 games in, things aren't going quite the way you want? You're playing pretty well, but you're not getting the points you expected, you're not getting the ice time you deserve, and honestly, you feel kind of tired of the game. It feels like a job now. This happened to me pretty much every season, and I couldn't figure out why this kept happening. I'd work super hard in the off season, I'd come in super fired up. That should mean I'm going to have an awesome season and things are going to feel great. But if you've ever dealt with this, it's not your fault. There's actually a scientific explanation for why getting so hyped up actually leads you to oftentimes not have a great season. And most of this is caused by a chemical in your brain called dopamine. I'll let Dr. Andrew Huberman explain the basics of how dopamine works in your brain so you know I'm not just making this stuff up.
So what is it? Dopamine's a neurochemical. Some people call it neurotransmitter, neuromodulator. Let's just say it's a chemical.
Okay, it's a chemical.
Dopamine is critical for movement. Dopamine is about wanting and craving, not about having. When an experience is worse than you expected, your dopamine drops below where it started.
Wow.
Some guy made $1 billion. A couple weeks later, he said, I don't know what's going on, but I feel depressed. And I just said, that's dopamine. He got the reward. And what he misses is the hunt. You have to stay in the hunt.
So basically what he's saying is that when you set a high expectation for yourself going into the season, like, I'm going to get a point a game, I'm going to score 40 goals this year and it's going to be awesome, I'm going to be the best player on the team, I'm going to have all the D1 scouts looking at me. When you think these things, it's like craving your favorite dessert at the end of the day, and then you get home for dinner and dessert is some kind of weird thing that's all healthy that your mom bought. That dessert might taste all right, but because you expected your favorite dessert, suddenly that thing that is okay and you might have enjoyed it otherwise actually feels terrible because it's not even close to what you were expecting. So this is what happens when excitement turns to disappointment. So essentially why this happens is because in your brain, when you get really fired up for the season and you're expecting a breakout year, to basically set this high expectation saying, this is going to be a perfect year, things are going to be amazing, 10 out of 10, it's going to be the best it's ever been. But then if your expectations don't get met, your dopamine doesn't just drop to normal, it drops below baseline. And this is shown in neuroscience to happen. So instead of feeling like it's just a bump in the road or things are not going perfectly right now, it feels super frustrating. It feels like the end of the world because you actually feel worse than if you had to set a normal expectation for yourself. And I see this happen to D1 players all the time who want to come in, earn a spot right away, and then they get scratched the first weekend. And the problem is it feels really good to set massive goals for yourself, have a really high standard, but then it's really frustrating when you get this disappointment. So what I teach my high-level guys who are going into D1 or pro or high-level junior is instead of lowering expectations, change what you focus on altogether. Shift your focus from outcomes like points and ice time to focusing on controllables like mastering a certain shot style, coming into every game clear, confident, and totally dialed in into the flow state. When you do that, you put the power back in your hands instead of hoping things are going to work out. And when you focus on these things, you realize these are the things that actually cause the bigger outcomes that you want in the long term.